Well, you're welcome to our graphic design training. This happens to be our third lesson of our online graphic design training. The channel continues to be GeoRoot Multimedia. Now, in this episode, we are going to learn how to save our work, or how to save in Photoshop. So let's begin with our steps. Now we have our work. This is the design that we have made, so we are going to save it. First of all, there are different formats in saving in Photoshop, but for the sake of our lesson, or for the sake of our training, we are going to deal with only two formats. The first one is the PSD format or PDD format, and the second one is the JPEG format. The difference between the PSD format and the JPEG format is that with the PSD format, after you have saved your work in a PSD format, you can come back and edit it, remove layers from it, add layers to it in Photoshop. But if you save your work in JPEG, after your work is saved in JPEG, all the layers are merged together to form one layer. So with that, you cannot change a layer, you cannot edit a layer, because it will be in one form or one layer. So that's the difference. So if you are working on your design, and let's say you have not finished, but you want to save it and work on it another time, don't save it in JPEG, but save it in PSD, so that the next time you come back, you can edit it again. But with your final work, you try and save it in JPEG. That's the difference. So let's go through the steps. The steps is, you first of all go to File, you click on File, then click on Save As, or with the shortcut Ctrl plus Shift plus S. Ctrl plus Shift plus S. Say Ctrl Shift S. It will send you to the Save As dialog box. Now, after you have able to open your dialog box, the first thing is to look to know where you want to save your work. Let's say you want to save it on your desktop. You can select desktop, or you have a specific folder you want to save your work inside. So this is where you choose your work, your folder. So for me, let's say for instance, I want to save my work on my desktop. But another desktop, I have a specific folder called graphics training, where I want to save my work. So you click on graphic training to be highlighted, then you come down to the file name where you put the name you want your designs, the name that will make you identify, or will make you recall your design easily. So what name do you want to give it to? Let's say I want to give it logo, or let me say poster. So that is the name I'm giving to my design. Now this is the format. So if you click on the format, the drop down arrow here, you see that there are so many formats. You have the large document format, you have the BMP, you have the computer server, and so many formats. But with our lesson, we are going to deal with the PSD. So if you in PSD, as I said, you can come back and edit it again. But if you save it in JPEG, this is the JPEG. We have different from JPEG, but we are going to concentrate on the first one. Take note, the first one. So if you save it in JPEG, so let's check on JPEG and let's watch the layer side. You see some changes. Then after you have selected the JPEG, you click on Save. Then you see the layer side. Now it has been merged to become one layer. That's the work of JPEG. So if you click on OK, your work will be saved. But if you don't want to save it in PSD in JPEG format, you can still save it in PSD, go to file, go to save as, you select your location, you give it a name, then you select your format, you click on save. Your work will save, because see the name is already there. So let me change the name, let me add something to it. Let's say 7. Okay, then the moment you click on OK, your work will be saved in PSD format. This is how we save in different formats. So you can also save it in PDF format. You can save your work in PNG format. But because of our training, we are based on the PEG format and PSD format. Thank you, and we shall continue another time.